You're Spider-Man, swinging through New York, dodging portals from some dimension-hopping weirdo called the Spot. Everything's going fine, right? Until one of those portals swallows you whole. Next thing you know, you're spit out in a dark, creepy cave, surrounded by monsters and guys with swords who look like they walked out of an anime. Here's the kicker your spider sense, that trusty tingle that saves your butt. It's freaking out, glitching like a bad signal in this magic crazy world. So, what happens when Peter Parker, the friendly neighborhood hero, lands in a place where you've got to kill to get stronger? What if being a hero makes you a target? Let's find out. Okay, picture this. Peter's in the middle of a fight. Web slinging through New York, the Spot's throwing portals left and right, laughing like a cartoon villain. Peter's dodging, quipping, the usual. Hey, Spot, ever try aiming those things? But then one portal glows weird. All purple and crackly. His spider sense screams louder than ever. Before he can swing away, it sucks him in like a cosmic vacuum cleaner. Everything spins, lights flash, and bam, he's falling, crashing hard on a cold, rocky ground. Peter groans, picking himself up, his suit's torn, a big rip across the chest. He flicks his wrist whip, but his web shooters just sputter, like a car running out of gas. Great, he mutters first day in, wherever this is. And my gear's already busted. He looks around. Up ahead, there's a group of people, all geared up like they're heading into a video game dungeon. Swords, armor. The works, Peter blinks. Did I just land in a Comic-Con or an anime? He steps closer, trying to figure things out. These guys are hunters. He overhears people who fight monsters in places called gates. There's a skinny kid, Sung Jinwoo, looking nervous, like he's about to flunk a math test. A kind-faced woman, Lee Joo-hee, is checking her healing gear. And an older guy, Mr. Song, seems like he's seen it all. Peter decides he's got to talk to them, maybe get some answers. He walks up, waving awkwardly. I'm Peter. Kinda lost here. His Korean's terrible, pieced together from a high school language, Appa. The hunters stare. Confused, Jui tilts her head. You're a hunter. In that costume. Peter grins under his mask. Yeah, it's a long story. Song squints. No papers, no rank. You're trouble, kid. Peter's about to explain, but his spider sense tingles faint but steady like a warning bell. Something's off about this cave. Here's the deal, Peter's got no money, no ID, and no clue where he is. Seoul, South Korea, sure, but that's all he's got. The hunters are heading into the gate to fight monsters, and they're short on people. Peter figures tagging along might get him some cash, or at least a hint about getting home. He points at the cave entrance, all eager, so, I can help. I'm pretty good at jumping around. Jinwoo gives him a small nod, like he gets being the odd one out. Joo-hee hesitates, but says, okay, but stay close. But here's where it gets tricky, y'all. The other hunters aren't buying it. One guy mutters, who's this weirdo in tights? Peter tries to laugh it off. Tights. Nah, this is high-tech spandex. Yeah. It doesn't help. His spider sense keeps buzzing, louder now, like a phone on vibrate. He glances at the gate, a swirling, glowing portal deeper in the cave. It's giving him bad vibes, worse than that time he fought Venom. He mutters to himself, Pete, you faced aliens, how bad can this be? Then, the team moves out. Peter sticks with Jinwoo, keeping his powers low-key. No web slinging, no wall crawling. Just walking like a normal guy. But his eyes are everywhere, scanning the shadows. The cave narrows, the air gets heavy like the whole place is alive. Joo-hee whispers, this is a D-rank gate, should be easy. Peter's spider sense disagrees. Humming like a warning siren, he cracks a nervous joke. Easy. Famous last words, right? Jinwoo actually chuckles and Peter thinks, okay, maybe I can fit in here. But wait, what if this world doesn't want a Spider-Man? What if Peter's big heart, his whole save everyone thing makes him stand out too much? As they step through the gate, the portal flashing like a sci-fi movie, Peter's spider sense spikes hard. Something's waiting on the other side, something big, and deep down he knows this isn't New York anymore. This is a game with new rules, and he's about to learn them the hard way. This dungeon's about to throw him a curveball bigger than Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs. Let's see how our friendly neighborhood hero handles a world where one wrong move means game over. So, here's Peter, jogging through this creepy cave with the hunters. It's all slimy walls and weird glowing mushrooms like something out of a sci-fi flick. The team's fighting low-level beasts, think big, ugly rats with too many teeth. Peter's dodging, flipping, landing punches like it's a street fight. He's trying not to show off, keeping his Spider-Man moves on the down low. Just a normal guy, he mutters, knocking out a rat thing with a quick jab. Jinwoo's eyes widen, like, whoa! This dude's fast, Joo-hee whispers. Peter, you sure you're not a hunter? He just grins. Me. Nah. But then the team finds something weird, a hidden door carved with creepy statues, tucked behind a pile of rocks. Peter's spider sense goes nuts, buzzing like a phone you can't turn off. He's thinking, bad idea, bad idea. But his curiosity's screaming louder. He's got to know what's behind that door, Mr. Songs like Could Be Treasure or Trouble. Jinwoo's nervous but nods. Peter, being Peter, says, "Come on, guys, what's an adventure without a little risk? Big mistake." They push through, and bam, the door slams shut behind them. They're in a huge temple, all dark stone and giant statues staring down like angry gym teachers. Peter's spider sense is screaming now, so loud it's giving him a headache. He tries his web shooter's thwip, but they just cough out a sad little dribble. "Oh, come on." He groans. "What's with this place? Magic Wi-Fi jamming my gear." Joo-hee's shaking, Jinwoo's gripping his dagger, and the other hunters are yelling, "We're trapped." Then it gets worse. The statues move, actually moved. They swing massive swords, and the fight's on. Peter's flipping over blades, shoving Jinwoo out of the way, grabbing Joo-hee before a statue stumps her. His spider sense is all over the place. Too wild to pinpoint attacks in this magic-heavy air. Hunters start falling, screams, blood, chaos. Peter's heart's pounding. "I've fought Doc Ock, I can handle this." But these things aren't slowing down. Jinwoo's shouting something about commandments, like rules carved on the walls. Peter catches bit stuff about worship. Sacrifice? He's thinking. Sacrifice. That's not in my hero handbook. The last rule hits hard. One person's gotta die to stop the statue's Jinwoo. That skinny kid with a heart too big steps up. "I'll do it," he says, voice shaking. Peter freezes. He's been here before. Uncle Ben's face flashes in his mind that moment he didn't act. Peter can't let it happen again. He yells, "No way, kid," and shoves Jinwoo clear. A statue sword comes down and Peter takes the hit. Full force, pain explodes, white hot, and he's out, falling into darkness. But then, a weird blue light flickers. Words float in front of him like a video game screen. "Welcome, player." It says. Peter's eyes snap open in a hospital bed days later. He's alive somehow. But Jinwoo's hurt bad. Joo-hee's a wreck. And half the team's gone. Peter's gut twists. He saved Jinwoo, but at what cost? Those blue screens are still there, floating, talking about quests and stats. He's part of some system now, and it's changing him. He mutters, "I just wanted to help. Why's it always gotta be so heavy?" Peter Parker. He's lying in a hospital bed in Seoul, head spinning from that temple disaster. He saved Jinwoo, but half the team's gone. Joo-hee's a mess. And now he's seeing weird blue screens floating in front of him, like he's stuck in a sci-fi flick. Peter's thinking, "I'm Spider-Man, not some gamer kid." But these screens are real, and they're telling him to play by new rules. Can our web-slinging hero keep his heart in a world where killing's part of the deal? Let's find out. So, Peter's in this hospital staring at these glowing blue screens nobody else can see. They're saying, "Welcome, player daily quest. 10 push-ups, 1 mile run, some sit-ups." He laughs, all nervous. "What, I'm in superhero boot camp now?" But then the screens get scary, warning about a penalty zone if he skips out. Peter's no dummy. He's fought enough creeps to know a threat when he smells one. He hauls himself out of bed, ribs aching, and starts doing push-ups right there in his room. A nurse peeks in like, "You okay?" Peter grins. Just staying fit.
Yeah.
But here's the wild part. He finishes the quest, sweating like crazy, and bam, his body feels different, stronger, sharper, like his spider powers got a turbo boost up. He's thinking, okay, that's not normal. I'm a science guy, and this feels like magic. He tries to poke the screens, figure them out, but it's like arguing with a busted vending machine. Nothing makes sense. Peter's shaking his head. Great, I'm a bug squashing bodybuilder now. But inside, he's rattled this system's making him something new, and he's not sure he likes it. Then the system offers a bigger challenge, an instance dungeon just for him. It's a creepy subway station, all dark and busted, with flickering lights and rusty tracks. Oh, Peter's desperate for answers. Maybe some loot to fix his gear, so he jumps in. Inside, he's facing snarling wolves with metal fangs, snapping at his heels. His spider sense is sharper like it's hooked into the system, flashing weak spots like a video game. He's flipping, dodging, swinging a busted pipe when his web shooters fizzle, lying. "Come on, webs," he yells. "Don't ditch me now." But then, the boss shows up, blue venom-fanged Kasaka, a giant snake with glowing eyes and poison dripping from its jaws. Peter's spider sense is screaming, but Kasaka's fast, lunging like a freight train. He's dodging, barely his pipe no match for those fangs. He's thinking, I don't kill. I don't. But Kasaka's not slowing, and Peter's cornered. He grabs the pipe, system strength surging, and swings crack. The snake's head drops dead. Peter stumbles back, staring at the blood. "I had to," he whispers, but it feels wrong. The system pings, a level up, a venom gland gain. But here's the kicker. Peter's stronger, but he's sick to his stomach. He's thinking of Uncle Ben, of his no-kill rule. "What am I doing?" He mutters, outside Wu Jinchel's waiting, that Hunter Association guy watching him like a hawk. "You're moving up fast." Wu says, "All cold." Peter forces a grin. Just lucky, I guess. But what if he'd found another way? What if he'd said no to killing? As he walks away, the system's humming. And Peter knows this world's not done with him yet. Peter Parker's getting the hang of this system thing, fighting wolves and leveling up like he's in a video game, but he's still Spider-Man, you know? All heart, no cash. And a suit that's barely holding together. Now he's signing up for a new job, hoping for some quick bucks to fix his gear. Sounds simple, right? Nope. This world's got a knack for throwing curveballs, and Peter's about to learn that trust is harder to come by than a working web shooter. What happens when a hero's stuck in a trap with no easy way out? Let's roll. So, Peter's walking through Seoul, dodging stares from folks who think his ripped costume's a fashion fail. He's broke, his web fluid's running low, and he's gotta eat. Then he hears about a C-rank raid, led by some guy named Wong Dong-suk Lai. The pay's decent, and Peter's thinking, I've fought Rhino, I can handle a few monsters. He signs up, meeting this cheerful kid, Jinho, who's decked out in shiny armor like a walking tank. Jinho's all smiles, chatting about gear stats. Peter grins. Dude, you sound like my pal Ned, but with a sword. But here's the deal. Peter's spider sense is humming the second he meets Dong-suk. The guy's got a lizard-like smirk, and his crew's giving off serious bad guy vibes. Peter mutters, okay, Pete, keep your eyes open. These guys look shadier than the Kingpin. The raid heads into a dungeon dark tunnels, the usual creepy setup. Peter's carrying bags, playing the newbie, but he's watching Dong-suk's every move. Jinho's clueless, babbling about becoming a guildmaster. Peter likes the kid, but his spider sense won't quit buzzing then. They reach the boss room. It's a giant spider, all hairy legs and glowing eyes hanging from a massive web. Peter can't help it, he laughs. Universe, you're messing with me. The team starts fighting and Peter's ready to jump in, but Dong-suk waves him back. New guy, guard the kid, he says, pointing at Jinho. Peter's spider sense spikes hard like a fire alarm. He's thinking something's wrong, big time. Sure enough, the spider's half dead when Dong-suk pulls his move. He and his crew turn on Peter and Jinho, slamming the boss room door shut. Sorry, kids. Dong-suk sneers. We're taking your gear and the loot. Peter's not shocked, but he's mad. He grabs Jinho, dodging a sword swing. Stay behind me. He yells. The spider's still thrashing. And Dong-suk's crew is closing in. Peter's gotta act fast. He leaps, flipping over the spider, and lands a kick that sends it crashing into the wall. One punch later, the beast's down, dead. Jinho's jaw drops. Whoa, you're insane. But now, the real fight starts. Dong-suk's guys come at them, blades flashing. Peter tries his web shooter's thwip and gets a weak strand enough to trip one guy. Ow. Come on, webs, don't bail on me. He groans, he's dodging, weaving, using his system-boosted speed to knock guys out. He's trying to keep it non-lethal, webbing arms, smacking heads E. But these jerks won't stay down there swinging to kill. Peter's heart's racing. He doesn't want to go too far. But Jinho's in danger finally. He snaps, grabbing a guy's arm and twisting hard crack. The scream echoes. Peter freezes, hating himself. Then, it's over. Peter webs the crew to the wall, bruised and broken, but alive. Jinho's shaking but safe. Peter's breathing heavy, staring at his hands. I didn't want to hurt them like that. He mutters. Jinho claps his shoulder. You saved me, Mana. You're a hero. Peter forces a smile, but inside, he's torn up. They limp out of the dungeon, and Jinho's got a crazy idea. Team up with me, he says. We'll clear dungeons together, you fight, I pay. Peter's about to say no, but then the system pings. A new alert pops up, a special dungeon key, leading to something called the Elixir of Life. Peter's eyes widen. Aunt May, he whispers, that's worth fighting for. But wait, what if Peter had gone all out, no holding back? What if he'd joined Dong-suk's crew just to play along? As they step into the sunlight, Peter feels eyes on him. Someone's watching. This world's starting to notice Spider-Man, and not in a good way. All right, folks, let's jump back in. So, Peter's sitting with Jinho in a dingy Seoul diner, scarfing down noodles. Jinho's all excited, laying out his plan. You're a beast in a fight, he says. Clear dungeons with me, and I'll handle the cash and gear. Peter's hesitant. Teaming up's not his usual style, but he's broke, his suit's a mess. And that elixir's stuck in his head. He thinks of Aunt Ame, her warm smile, her worrying about him back home. Okay, Jinho, he says, slurping noodles. You're the tank, I'm the spider. Let's do it. They hit the ground running, chaining C-rank dungeons like it's a weekend marathon. Picture dark caves, slimy swamps, all crawling with monsters, goblins, big snakes, you name it. Peter's a blur, flipping over claws, smacking beasts with system-boosted punches. His spider sense is on fire now, like it's plugged into the system, flashing weak spots like a game of Shua. He's even tinkered with dungeon loot mana stone, some metal scraps, and cooked up a weak batch of web fluid. Thwip, thwip. It's not perfect. But he's swinging again, sticking to walls, grinning like a kid. Jinho's cheering, swinging his sword, but mostly watching Peter work. You're like a ninja, he yells. But here's the problem. Peter's getting too good, too fast. They're clearing dungeons in record time, just the two of them, words spreading in Syl's hunter circles. Peter's walking down the street, and hunters are whispering, pointing at the guy in the weird red and blue suit eye. His spider sense tingles, not from monsters, but from people. He mutters, "Great, I'm not just a hero, I'm a freak show." Then, he spots a guy in a suit woo jinchel. That Hunter Association big shot watching from a distance. Peter's stomach drops. Why do I feel like I'm on a watch list? Then, the system chimes in right on cue. A blue screen pops up, bold as ever. Special dungeon key earned, reward access to Elixir of Life. Yeah, Peter's heart skips. The screen says it's a cure for any disease, and all he can think is Aunt May, her coughs, her tired eyes from his old world. He's gotta get that elixir. No matter what, Jinho's pumped, promising to gear up for the big dungeon. Peter forces a smile, but his mind's racing. A cure sounds nice, he says, but nothing's free in this game. But wait, what if Peter's moving too fast? What if chasing the elixir blinds him to something bigger? As he and Jinho plan their next move, Peter feels that tingle again. Woo Jinchel's still out there, and the system's pushing him harder. He's stronger than ever, but he's starting to wonder, is he still Spider-Man or something else? This world's changing him, and the next dungeon might change him even more. But the Hunter Association's got their eyes on him, and they're not asking nicely E. They're pulling him into another raid, and guess who's there? The folks from that Nightmare Temple. Old Wound's bad vibes and a whole lot of danger are about to hit Peter hard. Can Spider-Man keep everyone safe when the past comes knocking? Let's see what's next. So, Peter's chilling in Seoul, tweaking his web fluid when a Hunter Association guy shows up. You're needed. The guy says, all serious? Peter's thinking, needed. I'm not even from here. But he's got no choice, say no, and they might lock him up, and he heads to the raid meetup, and his stomach drops. It's the Cartnon crew. Juhi looking haunted, her healer bag shaking in her hands. Mr. Song with scars like a road map. And two others, Kim Sang-shik and Kang Jongo, glaring at Peter like he's the reason they're messed up. Peter mutters. Reunion of the year. The team's rounded out by 3 sketchy prisoners on work release, all twitchy and mean. Their overseer's Kang Tae-shik, a B-rank hunter with a smooth smile and cold eyes. Peter's spider sense tingles right away. Like a warning light flashing. Trouble?
Yeah.
He tries to break the ice with Juhi. Hey, you okay? She barely nods, whispering, I hate dungeons now. Kim snarls, you shouldn't be here. Freak. On. Peter forces a grin. Freak. Nah, I'm just aerobically gifted. Nobody laughs. They head into the D-rank dungeon, cramped tunnels, flickering shadows. Peter's sticking close to Juhi and Mr. Song, feeling their pain like it's his own. He's thinking, I saved Jinwoo, but I couldn't save everyone. Why is it always on me? The prisoners are grumbling, the monsters are small fry, but Peter's spider sense keeps buzzing locked on Tae-shik. The guy's too calm, moving like he's got a plan. Peter quips, what's with the cool guy act? You practicing for an anime audition? Tae-shik just smirks and Peter's gut screams, watch out. Then it all goes south eye. Tae-shik slips away and suddenly, Kim and Kang are gone. Screams echo down the tunnel. Peter's spider sense explodes and he sprints, finding their bodies, throats cut. Tae-shik's standing there, wiping a bloody knife. Oops, he says all fake sorry. Had to tie up loose ends. You're next. Peter's blood runs cold. He yells, Jo-hee Song, get back. Tae-shik's fast, like scary fast, lunging with that knife eye. Peter's dodging, flipping, using his system-boosted speed to keep up But here's the mess. Tae-shik's not just some thug, he's a hired killer, and he's got moves. Peter's trying to protect Juhi and Mr. Song, webbing them behind a rock. His web shooters are half working, spitting out shaky strands. Come on, gear. Don't quit on me. He groans. Tae-shik's laughing, tossing knives like it's a circus acta. Peter's heart's pounding, he doesn't want to kill, but Tae-shik's not giving him a choice. He's thinking, I'm supposed to be the good guy. Why's it always gotta be so hard? Then, Peter gets a break, his spider sense all synced with the system, flashes a weak spot Tae-shik's left side. Peter dives, landing a hard kick, sending Tae-shik crashing into a wall. The guy's down, but Peter's shaking, staring at the bodies of Kim and Kang. Juhi's crying, Mr. Song's gripping his sword, and Peter feels like he's failed again. He mutters, I just wanted to keep everyone safe. But what if he'd caught Tae-shik's vibe sooner? What if he'd skipped this raid? As they stumble out, Peter knows one thing, this world's not done testing him. Alright, folks, hold on tight. Peter Parker's in deep trouble, stuck in a dark dungeon with a stone-cold killer named Kang Tae-shik. He's just found 2 hunters dead, and Tae-shik's got his knife out, ready to take out Jo-hee and Mr. Song. Peter's spider sense is screaming, his heart's racing, and he's trying to keep everyone alive all. But this guy's no pushover, he's fast, deadly, and doesn't play nice. Can Spider-Man save the day without crossing a line he's always avoided? Or is this world about to change him for good? Let's dive in. So, Peter's in the middle of this dungeon, tunnels all damp and shadowy, Tashik's standing there, twirling his bloody knife like it's a toy, Dewey's behind a rock, whimpering, and Mr. Song's gripping his sword, ready to fight. Peter's voice is steady, but inside, he's freaking out. Back off, man, he says. You don't want to do this. Tashik laughs, all creepy and calm. Oh, I do. You're just extra. Peter's spider sense, hooked up to the system, flashes red danger, big time, the fight's on. Tashik moves like lightning, slashing with knives that glow with some kind of poison. Peter's dodging, flipping, using his half-working web shooters to swing out of reach. Thwip. A shaky web snags a knife midair, and Peter quips. Nice throw. Ever try out for baseball? But Tashik's not joking, he lands a hit, slicing Peter's arm. It burns bad. Peter grits his teeth, thinking, okay, Pete, you've fought worse. Keep it together. He webs Ju-hee and Song tighter behind cover, yelling, stay put. But here's the problem. Tashik's too good, a B-rank hunter with tricks Peter's never seen. He's tossing poison blades, moving so fast Peter's spider sense can barely keep up. Peter's trying to knock him out, not kill grabbing arms, tripping legs. But Tashik keeps coming, aiming for Johi's hiding spot. Peter's heart's pounding. He's thinking of Uncle Ben, of every time he failed to save someone, not today. He mutters. Then, the system pings, a blue screen flashes. New skill unlocked, vital strike. Peter doesn't think, he just moves on. The air crackles like a Shonen 9 power-up. Peter's spider sense locks on Tashik's chest, a glowing weak spot. He dives faster than ever, his fist glowing with system energy. Oh, vital strike. He yells half by instinct, the punch lands hard crack. Tashik flies back, slamming into the wall, eyes wide. He's not moving. Peter stumbles, staring at his fist, then at Tashik's body, dead. Peter's stomach twists. No, he whispers. I didn't mean to coo. Ju-hee's sobbing, Mr. Song's silent, and Peter feels like the air's gone out of the room. Then, footsteps echo. Wu Jinchul, that Hunter Association guy, shows up, all suit and stone-cold stare. He looks at the bodies at Peter and says, "You're trouble, kid. Watch your back, Wang Dongsu's coming for you." Peter's head's spinning. Dongsu's Dongsuk's big brother, an S rank with a grudge job. Ju-hee grabs her bag, voice shaky. I'm done, she says. No more dungeons. She walks out, leaving Peter with Mr. Song, who just nods like he gets it but can't say it. Peter's alone, muttering, I'm supposed to save people. Why does it always end like this? But what if Peter had held back? What if he'd found another way to stop Tashik? As he trudges out of the dungeon, blood on his suit, Peter feels the system humming, like it's happy with him. But he's not. Wu Jinchul's warning rings in his ears. And that elixir's still out there. Peter's stronger, but he's starting to wonder, is he losing himself in this world? Peter Parker's still shaken from taking down that assassin, Kang Tashik, and losing Ju-hee's trust. He's got Wu Jinchul's warnings ringing in his ears and a big, badass rank hunter, Wang Dongsu, out for his blood. But the system's got no chill, it's dragging him into a new quest, something called a job change, and it's sounding like a one-way ticket to Hurt Town. Peter's fighting for Aunt May, for the elixir, for a way to keep going. Can he handle a challenge that's as much in his head as it is in his fists? Let's dive in. So, Peter's in Seoul, stitching his suit when the system lights up like a fireworks show. A blue screen blasts, job change classed, accept or face penalty.
Yeah.
Peter's beat, his arm's still stinging from Tashik's knife, but he's thinking, I need power to face Dongsu and get that elixir. He mutters, all right, system, you got me. But if it's another bug world, I'm filing a complaint. He taps accept, and Wushi's pulled into a pocket dimension. It's a massive throne room, all dark stone and gold, like an anime castle on steroids. Peter quips, no red carpet, guess I'm not VIP. But then the rules flash in the air, glowing and mean. Survive all enemies, no breaks, no healing, no way out. Peter's spider sense buzzes low but sharp, like a car alarm in the distance. He's thinking, okay, Pete, you've fought symbiotes, you got this. Then, the ground rumbles and knights spawn huge, armored dudes with swords crackling with magic. Peter's moving, dodging blades, flipping over shields, landing punches that barely scratch their metal layout. His web shooters sputter thwip, but the webs are weak, useless against these tanks. Come on, he yells. What's with the magic armor? You guys shop at Wizard Walmart. But here's the deal, the knights don't stop, they keep coming, wave after wave, like the system's got an infinite army. Peter's getting tired. His kick's slower. His dodge is messy. He's taking cuts on his legs, a bruise across his ribs. His usual moves swing dodge. Quip aren't cutting it. He's panting, thinking, I'm Spider-Man, not a knight-slaying machine. The system's just flashing. Fight on. No help at all. Peter groans. What no health potion? This game's rigged. Then it gets worse though. The air turns heavy like a storm's rolling in the knight's paws. and a new figure steps forward, blood-red armor, sword glowing with lightning. It's Igris the Night Boss, and he's fast, like scary fast. Peter's spider sense screams loud enough to make his head hurt as Igris swings, carving the floor like it's butter. Peter's diving, rolling, barely staying alive. Okay, pal. He gasps. You're giving Doc Ock a run for his money. Yeah, Igris keeps coming slash, stab magic blasts that burn Peter's suit. Peter's fighting back using system speed, but he's outmatched. But hold up, it's not just swords. The room starts playing dirty tricks, shadows flicker Uncle Ben's face, sad and quiet Jinwoo's voice, scared from that temple. Dead hunters, whispering, "You failed us." Peter's dodging Igris, but his heart's breaking. Stop it. He yells, voice cracking. He's thinking, I'm doing my best, I always do. His spider sense, tied to the system, flashes Igris's weak spots, but Peter's slipping, his body screaming for rest. He mutters, I can't quit. Not now. But what if he'd bailed on this quest? What if he's not enough? As Igris raises his sword, Peter's cornered. The voice is louder than ever. The throne room's closing in, and he's gotta find a way to keep fighting. This world's testing everything he's got, and he's not sure what's left. Peter Parker's backed into a corner in this crazy throne room, fighting a red-armored knight named Igris who's swinging a sword like it's personal. Shadows of his past Uncle Ben. Jinwoo, dead hunters are messing with his head, calling him a failure. Peter's beat up, bleeding, but he's still Spider-Man, and he's not giving up. The system's pushing him to his limit, and a big choice is coming. Can Peter stay true to himself when the power he needs feels so wrong? Let's see how it goes down. So, Peter's dodging Igris's blade, the throne room shaking with every swing, sparks fly, magic crackles, and Peter's moving faster than ever, his system-boosted speed barely keeping him alive. His spider sense is screaming, flashing Igris's weak spots like a game guide. But those shadows keep coming. Uncle Ben's voice, soft but heavy. You let me down. Pete! Jinwoo's eyes, scared in that temple. Peter's heart's breaking. I'm trying. He yells, flipping over a sword slash. He quips, shaky. What's with the glowy sword? You stealing from Star Wars? Igris doesn't flinch, just keeps coming slash thrust, a magic blast that singes Peter's suit. Peter's webs are useless here, his shooter's coughing out nothing. He's landing punches, kicks, but Igris is a tank, shrugging it off. Peter's stamina's fading, his arm's bleeding, and those voices won't stop. You're no hero, they whisper. He's thinking, I've gotta be A for May, for Jinwoo. For me. His spider sense locks on Igris's chest, a glowing spot, and Peter knows it's now or never. He mutters, with great power comes a really bad day. Then something clicks. The system hums like it's cheering him on. Peter channels every bit of his strength spider skills, system stats, pure grit. He dives, fist glowing with that Fatal Strike energy from the last fight. Here goes. He shouts, slamming his fist into Igris's chest. A crack. The knight stumbles, sword dropping, and crashes to his knees. The throne room goes quiet, knight bodies fading into dust. Peter's panting, barely standing, staring at Igris. Stay down, he whispers, and Igris does. But here's the big moment. The system lights up, a blue screen bigger than ever. Quiz complete. It says, choose your job class. Options flash assassin, battle mage, necromancer. Peter's eyes widen. Assassin sneaky, mage is flashy, but necromancer. That's controlling the dead. He's thinking, no way, that's not me. I'm the guy who saves people, not that. But Dongsu's out there, and S-rank ready to crush him. The elixir's waiting, his only shot for Aunt May. Peter's hands shake. I need power, he mutters. But at what cost? He stares at Necromancer. Heart heavy, forgive me, he whispers. To May, to Ben, to himself, thought. He picks it. The system booms, Necromancer chosen, arise. Igris's body twitches, then rises wreathed in dark shadows, eyes glowing loyal. Peter steps back horrified. What did I just do? He says, voice cracking. The throne room's empty now, just him and his new soldier. He's stronger, sure, but he feels alone, like he's lost something big. What if he'd picked assassin? What if he'd said no to the system? As the dimension fades, Peter's left standing, Igris silent behind him. He's not just Spider-Man anymore, he's something else. And this world's about to find out what Peter Parker's just made the wildest choice of his life, picking Necromancer in that crazy throne room. Now he's got Igris, a shadowy knight, following him like a loyal ghost. He's stronger than ever, but he's feeling further from the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man he used to be. Soul's buzzing with rumors, a big bad hunter's closing in, and that elixir of life is still out there, calling his name. Can Peter hold on to his heart in a world that's pushing him to the dark side? Let's see how it wraps up. So Peter's back in Seoul, the throne room fading like a bad dream. He's standing in an alley, Igris looming behind him. All dark armor and glowing eyes, Peter staring at his hands, muttering, I'm supposed to save people, not command dead guys. His spider sense is quiet, but his head's loud thoughts of Aunt May, Uncle Ben, And that temple where everything went wrong, he tries a weak joke. Guess I'm the spooky Spider-Man now. Bet that'd sell some comics, but it doesn't feel funny. Jinho's waiting nearby, all nervous energy. Peter, you okay? He asks, eyeing Igris like it's a bomb. Peter forces a grin. Yeah, just got a new buddy. Jinho's got news the Elixir dungeon's real, but it's a death trap packed with monsters way above their level. Peter's heart jumps, Aunt May's face flashes, her tired smile. We're going, he says, voice firm. Jinho nods, loyal as ever, but adds, Hunter Association sniffing around. And Dong-su's close. Peter's gut twists. Huang Dong-su, that S rank out for blood is no joke. But here's the real kick. Peter's walking through Seal, Igris hidden in his shadow when he spots Wu Jinchul again. The guy's leaning against a car, suit crisp, eyes like a hawk. You're making waves, kid. Wu says voice low. Keep it up, and you won't like who notices. Peter's spider sense hums, not danger, just a pressure. He quips, what, I'm too cool for Syl now. Wu doesn't smile, just walks off. Peter's thinking, great. I'm not just a hero, I'm a problem. Then the system chimes in, because of course it does. A blue screen pops up, you'll prepare for special dungeon elixir awaits. Peter's holding that dungeon key, feeling its weight. He's picturing May sick, alone, back in his world, or maybe she's fine, and he's chasing a ghost. I've gotta try, he mutters. But Igris shifts, like it's listening. And Peter feels a chill. Commanding shadows isn't hero stuff, it's creepy wrong. He's thinking, what am I becoming? Jinho's hyping him up, talking gear and plans, but Peter's half listening, lost in his head. But wait, what if those shadows turn on him? What if the elixir's a trap? Peter's standing at a crossroads, Syl's lights flickering around him, Dong-su's out there, Wu's watching, and the system's pushing. He takes a deep breath, muttering, with great power comes a really messed up day. He's got Igris, Jinho, and a shot at the elixir, but every step feels heavier. This world's changed him, and he's not sure he can change it back. What's next for our web-slinging necromancer? Guess we'll find out soon.